Welcome to Unofficially, the podcast of the Wisconsin Badgers. I'm Evan, and I'm here with a new guest today. This is Amber.
Say hello, everyone.
Amber, also a Wisconsin alumnus and a devout Badger fan.
Yes.
Amber, huge win for the Badgers today. Give me sort of your initial thoughts on the game. Was this Badgers play is better than expected? Is this what you thought you'd see coming into today?
About as expected.
Okay, so you were expecting. You were expecting a Badger win.
I was expecting a Badger win. I didn't think that they would score 14 points before I was able to see the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But
so
that was good.
Yeah, so obviously good that we scored 14 points. Bad on ESPN's part for
yes.
blacking out the first 5 minutes of the game. But I would agree. I'm the same boat. I think you said you sort of expected Badgers to come out and play like this. I was a little unsure. I thought that based on like last week, I didn't really know what to think. Right, this team. I feel like there really is two different versions of this team. It's like so strange that the team can play this well against a very solid Purdue team, and especially coming off of a week last week where we lose to a not so great Michigan State team. I guess 2 weeks ago after Northwestern game, I would have thought that we would have stood a much better chance against Michigan State than we did Purdue, but I was pleasantly surprised. I guess what are your big takeaways from this game?
I'm glad Leonhard had a win.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think he could have won last week had it not been his first game as the head coach.
Last week was second, right? Northwestern's first game, right?
Oh, Northwestern was first game. Okay. Well.
But still early.
But Michigan State's a bigger opponent than
exactly
more competitive opponent than Northwestern is. So
exactly.
I think it's good that he has 2 wins under his belt then.
Yes, I completely agree. Completely agree. I would say for Leonhard's win's obviously huge. I think at this point, the job is his. I know there's a lot of chatter about...
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of chatter about like Lance Leopold, but Kansas, I don't know if I would use the term imploded, but I think Kansas on a 3-game skid now. Obviously, winning at Kansas at all is impressive, but Lance isn't looking as impressive at the moment as he was 3 weeks ago when Paul got fired and Kansas was undefeated. Now that Kansas lost 3 in a row, it seems like the Lance Leopold callings have quieted, and Leonhard is
time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
I think he has a lot of season left.
Right, he's got a lot of season left. I guess what do you need to see from? Where are you? Are you sort of Leonhard should get the job no matter what? You sort of okay? So you do need to see what do you need to see from Leonhard before we take the interim tag off and make him head coach?
I think he needs to keep the energy of the team up. He needs the team to kind of commit behind him, which I think they already
bought into him. Completely agree with that.
But I think he needs to keep that up. I think it was a good choice to have him step in as the interim coach because the team knows him.
Yep.
They like him, presumably.
Yep.
And then he can... I think that's really important. So if the team is bought into him, I think that's really big, and I think he needs to keep winning the games that he can win.
Right, exactly. So Wisconsin's
he came into a season that wasn't great to start off with, so you can't expect him to turn it around completely. But
right. But I completely agree. He stepped in to take over a team that had just lost to Illinois at home in just a pathetic fashion, right?
Yeah.
So, fact that smoked Northwestern, a very hard-fought game against Michigan State. Brought to double overtime, wasn't able to get the win. But today, play a talented Purdue team, especially with a team that's been able to pass the ball and move the ball. The fact that Leonhard was able to beat them this convincingly and really dominate the game I think you have to give him credit. I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, okay, obviously Leonhard being 3-0 is better than 2-1, but if he's going to go 2-1, I don't think there. I don't think there's a more impressive way to go 2-1 than what we've seen.
I think if he can, unless there is a really unicorn coach out there that, or someone who is just that they would really.
Right, perfect fit.
Yeah, perfect fit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Perfect fit.
Has a really good reputation or record or something.
And it's hot, right.
Then there's no reason to not give him another, Leonhard, another year or two.
Right,
to see
shorter
what he can
contract.
do with
right. At least give him a little
program.
bit. Yeah, exactly. At least give him a few years to see where he can get this. So, how did you feel about Graham today? Fine. It's sort of like, I guess for me, Graham, it seemed like he did take a few more, he took some, sacks. That does seem like he's, he was holding on to the ball a little longer than I would have liked him to on a few plays. Also,
he doesn't have players open though.
Right, exactly. It doesn't have players open. It does seem like he was leaving, the pocket just a little bit early. But generally, I would agree. And what did you think of Braylon in the running game? Or did you sort of play as expected?
Nothing
Nothing out of the ordinary, sort of as ho-hum. Well, I guess Isaac had a nice run for a touchdown. I guess Braylon, it does seem like he was able to get
he was able to break
space.
Things a little bit more than he usually is.
Yep.
But is that him or our offensive line?
Right. I mean, that's a great question. Yeah, offensive line, you're absolutely right. And it does seem like the offensive line play, of course, is going to be directly correlated to Braylon's always going to look better, right, when the offensive line's playing well, right? So it's hard. And it does seem like today, I guess, the holes, there's a little more penetration. Braylon wasn't getting, hit in the backfield right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would agree. So I guess we've got Maryland. So we got bye next week. Maryland at home. Then we go to Iowa. Then we go to Nebraska. And then we've got Minnesota at home. So 4 games left. For you, does Leonhard need to have a certain record in those games in order to get the job? Or are you sort of... Is it more of a soft,
I think it's soft, but they should all be winnable.
Right.
These all should be winnable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we saw the stats. There are 3 of them. I guess we're
50%.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little bit undercutting Wisconsin, I think, but again, we also have had some pretty terrible losses.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Right. You're exactly.
But they should be able to win them. We'll see. If we lose them all, then that's also not a great sign on Leonhard. But
right, if we go 0-4 against his so there's a scenario.
We should win 3 out of 4. I think that is a good standard.
Yeah.
I don't think if we win 2 out of 4, that means we should let go of Leonhard.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. If you lose to Iowa, you lose to Maryland, or if you lose
Iowa, I feel like is a little bit more of the. Although I don't know how they're doing.
You're more worried about,
but I don't know how they're doing this year. But
right, yeah. So
Maryland, we should win.
Right, we should win against Maryland.
Nebraska, we should win.
Iowa's got a solid defense, but they've had troubles on offense. And then, of course, Minnesota at home.
Minnesota, we should win.
Right, so it'd be great. Yeah, exactly. Minnesota, get the axe, and hopefully after that game, chop down the axe, and same time, a day later, they take the interim tag off of Leonhard. Because that'll certainly help recruiting. But so anyways, a bit of a shorter podcast today. Do you have any sort of closing thoughts? Anything that you feel like we didn't get to?
No, not necessarily. I thought they looked good today. I thought they could have won last week. I actually thought they had some good heart last week.
Yeah.
And they actually tried. They didn't just give up, which was good. And I think that speaks to Leonhard. and that he's able to at least fire them up enough to keep trying versus just losing steam.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think today, I liked how the offense performed. I mean, threw the ball down the field. We're able to break off some big chunk plays in the running game. Defense still left. So, I mean, our secondary was able to get a couple picks. So I like to see that. Defense still obviously showed some vulnerability in the passing game. It seems like it was just pass it. You know what I mean? Like, for these huge plays right to the field. Even the fourth quarter, it seems like, I don't know how much Wisconsin was just playing prevent, try not to give up the big play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're giving up chunk plays at a time, but still concerned. What did you think about... it's obviously moot now, but what did you think about the call at the goal line?
That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. It was obviously short.
Right.
I don't know what they could have seen that made them feel like they couldn't turn it, they didn't have the evidence to turn it over. That was clearly both angles on both sides of the field showed it a good 2 to 3 inches short.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was one of the worst. I mean, I think that...
Didn't lose us the game, but it was terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And for such a big call, it seemed like the review went so quickly, too. Like, the fact that we don't have a camera right down the line with the visibility. I know the pylon cams have cameras, but the fact that we didn't have a camera right down the line that was able to, it's 2022, and we're still...
I mean, even the off-centered or off-line cameras looked very obvious, which those are the ones that are a little bit further behind the goal line, more towards the center of the field. That should presumably give you, more buffer to get it over the line, but it still looks short.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I just thought it was terrible call.
Yeah, I agree. That was a terrible call.
That was very strange.
I've been very curious
strange.
If it was just a matter of the review officials, they just it's too close to call.
But then,
and that's the only thing I think of. They're
maybe they have a different camera.
I mean, they obviously can. I don't know if they have more angles. I don't believe they have more angles, but
that was just terrible.
Yeah.
And then the one catch off his leg.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. That was
so funny.
That was talk about just luck. I mean, let's pick pure luck. I mean, obviously
it was luck, but I thought it was very credit where credit's due. I can't believe he kept his eye on the ball the whole time.
Yeah,
when he's
exactly.
Falling and it kicks off his leg.
Yeah, I will give him credit. You have to have focus, obviously, some hand-eye coordination, some focus.
That was just weird.
Yes.
Another strange thing. That was very strange.
Yes, that was very bizarre. Thankfully,
That was
it
very
turns
bizarre.
off to be inconsequential, as Wisconsin comes away with the W.
Yeah.
So I guess what is your prediction for next week? Oh, by the way, my by the way, I think my prediction is 31-10. So with Wisconsin winning 35-24. So I guess I had roughly an idea of
What did
Wisconsin.
I say at the beginning of the game that I need to focus on?
Your keys? Oh yeah, because I think before the game you said your keys to the game were playing penalty-free football.
Which
Right.
we didn't.
I thought we were better. Let's just see what we had for penalties. I'll just look up our. So yeah, I mean we have 9 penalties for 82 yards. So yeah, really, what you're right. I mean, it really was not that clean of a game. I mean, yeah, right. We did have some. With the offensive pass interference call, which was terrible,
very
right?
Stupid penalties.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so you're right. We did not play penalty-free football. I think you said your other key to the game was establishing the run, which I would say, yes. Let's see, for rushing, 178 yards. Outrush Purdue by 111 yards. So significantly outrush Purdue. So 178 yards, 29 attempts, so 6.1 rush per carry. I would say you got to be pretty satisfied with that, right?
Yeah.
And then So what was your? You said mistake-free football.
I don't remember.
What the key of the game was, but fight, don't give up is what you said. That's what you said. Yeah. So thankfully Wisconsin.
Well, we came out so hot so early. It's hard to give up.
Exactly. So I think we said, if you get punched in the mouth early, don't give up. But hopefully come out with hot starts. You don't get yourself in the position where you've got to battle back.
That's how you interpreted my words. Yes. I think I said it a lot more simply of don't give up. But yes.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's exactly what I meant.
Yes. So, all right. So let's get into our predictions for next week.
Well, next week we don't play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
So I think we will win the bye.
Yep. There we go. Yes. Hopefully, if we lose next week against bye, that would not be good for.
Hopefully, they don't have too fun of a weekend.
Yeah, it's true. Halloween,
on
Madison.
State Street.
Yeah, on State Street. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
What's,
wonder what they'll dress up as.
I was just gonna say, what do you think Graham's dressing up as?
A grandma.
A grandma? Graham's is a grandma?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, interesting take. So Maryland. So let's talk about games. So Maryland, Wisconsin. What do you get for score?
I don't know. 24-17.
24-17. Actually, I'm probably right about that. I think it might be. I was actually thinking something very similar. I was thinking I'm gonna go with 24-21. I think 24-21, 24-21, 27-21.
I really hope it's not that close.
Yeah, exactly. That would be incredibly stressful. Hopefully Wisconsin get off to a 14-0 start. It's much.
Oh, that's a little. I mean, I don't even know how they did it, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, obviously, I think.
Obviously, they ran it in.
Yeah,
but
no thanks to ESPN, but yes,
first touchdown was that. I highly doubt that's going to happen again. That was.
Yeah, Skylar Bell caught. It was Skylar Bell touchdown pass Skylar Bell, and then pick six by Torchio. So
somehow that all happened.
Exactly before ESPN even got us the feed.
Yes.
So. Okay, well, next week's bye week, but we will be having, I think, a sort of a basketball preview show. So
I will not be here.
Amber will not be here. We'll have the normal crew back next week, but Amber.
But you get the wife.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for stepping in today and giving us your thoughts. And
I tried to convince him to let the dogs in here. He said no.
Yes, dog free down there. So, anyways. Okay. All right. We'll see you next week, folks.